I'm Anita MacDonald. I'm a metabolic dietitian. I work at Birmingham Children's Hospital, and I've worked with children with PKU for the last 40 years. Today we are talking about complementary feeding. Complementary feeding is the same as weaning, and this is about the introduction of solids into a baby's diet. Weaning is about adding variety of foods into a child's diet. It's about introducing different tastes and textures. It's an important part in a child's development. It's about laying down the foundations that will influence the future feeding patterns of our children. During the weaning stage, many different developmental changes occur with children. They learn how to feed from a spoon, they learn how to feed themselves, they learn how to drink from a cup, they become hungrier during the weaning stage. But this is still at a time when adults can influence the likes and dislikes of their children, so it's a good time to try and change the protein substitute that we give to children with PKU. Weaning should be a happy time for parents. It should be a time that they look forward to. It should be a time that they enjoy. In reality, many parents are often quite anxious about feeding their children with PKU. But this is something that we dietitians can help with. We can advise about the types of foods that should be introduced and the amounts of foods that can be introduced. We will also advise on the type of protein substitute that should be given and the quantity of that protein substitute that the children should have. When we wean a baby with PKU, there's many extra things that we have to consider. It's important that we maintain good blood phenylalanine control during the weaning process. We have to make sure that the baby eats plenty of calories. This will help the weight gain as well as help metabolic control. And thirdly, it's important that the children take plenty of protein substitute, the safe protein, in their diet. It's not only about the amount of protein substitute, it's also about the type of protein substitute. As babies grow older, they get bigger and they require more special protein. If we give this in a liquid format, it means the volume of liquid that a baby will have to take is very high. If a baby takes a big volume of fluid, this will fill them up and will leave them little space or little appetite for solid foods. In reality, we prefer to give babies, as they get older, a second stage semi-solid protein substitute. This is something that's a little bit more concentrated and something we can give in a smaller volume. What does protein substitute do? Protein substitute is very important. It will provide children with a special protein without phenylalanine, which will help children grow and develop. It will provide them with all their vitamins and minerals. It will provide them with essential fatty acids. And the protein substitute will also help children maintain good metabolic control of their phenylalanine levels. It's always important that all the protein substitute is completed every day. What is PKU Explore? PKU Explore comes as a powder. We add a small amount of water into it. We make it into a semi-solid. We give it to babies from a spoon, and we introduce it into the baby's diet from around the age of 6 months. When we introduce PKU Explore, we first introduce it once daily. We give it in addition to the infant protein substitute. We find a time of day when the baby is hungry, but not too tired, so they're likely to eat all of it. So what is the process for giving PKU Explore? We always give the PKU Explore first at the beginning of the feed. This is followed by food, both low phenylalanine containing foods and phenylalanine containing foods. And then this will be followed by a bottle of the PKU Special Infant Formula. purpose of introducing PKU Explore is so that we can reduce the volume of the special PKU formula that the babies take. So we start by introducing 5 grams of PKU Explore, and the amount of special protein that's in 5 grams is the same as 100 ml of the special infant PKU formula. So how do we make up the PKU Explore? We take a packet of PKU Explore, we open the packet, we weigh out 5 grams of powder on our digital scales. We then add the water. The volume of water is always the same. We add 1 ml of water per 1 gram of powder. We can either measure the water out using teaspoons, or we can measure this out using a syringe. It's important to always add the same amount of water, so we always make up the powder to the same consistency. Once the water is added, we give it a good mix. We make it into a very smooth consistency, and once we've done this, it's ready to give to our baby. As children grow older, then they will require more special protein. And there are 2 kinds of PKU Explore to choose from. There's PKU Explore 5 and there's PKU Explore 10. Now PKU Explore 5 contains 12.5 grams of powder, which is the same as 5 grams of special protein or protein equivalent. The PKU Explore 10 contains 25 grams of powder, which provides 10 grams of special protein or special protein equivalent. So how do we make up the PKU Explore in the full packets? If we are making up the PKU Explore 5, then we'll only require 12.5 ml of water. And our mixer beaker will measure 12.5 ml of water. We add the water to the beaker first, and then we add the powder into the beaker. We put the lid on top, and then we give it a good shake. If we're making up the PKU Explore 10, we measure out water up until the 25 ml point. We then open the sachet, we add the powder to the beaker, we put the lid on top, we give it a good shake, and once it's made up, it's ready to give to the child using a spoon. If the child takes PKU Explore 5 and requires 10 grams of protein equivalent or special protein in one go, you can prepare this by adding 25 ml of water to the beaker and then open 2 sachets of PKU Explore 5 and then proceed to mix them together as you have just seen demonstrated. Introduce PKU Explore at the right developmental age. 6 months is a good time. The child is ready for new tastes and flavours. Give at the beginning of a meal when the child is hungry. Give at the same time each day. Develop a good time routine. It's important the same people give the PKU Explore from day to day in the same consistent way. The child should always complete the PKU Explore. None should be left in the container, and it's important that the child sees that the container is empty. A child should learn that the PKU Explore is important, just like a medication. Try and persist with the PKU Explore during teething and illnesses. We know this is difficult, but if they stop, it's more difficult to re-establish giving the PKU Explore again.